Hey, it's Richie and Wes.
He's Richie.
And he's Wes.
And this is our show. Okay, I was actually mad that I got COVID. Not at anyone.
What a way to usher in the show.
Welcome back. Not anyone for giving me COVID. Like, it's not really their fault. But I avoided that shit for 4 years.
You have. I've gotten it twice. You've gotten it none, except for now.
Pissed.
I mean, at least you have it now to where it's not in that weird experimental phase, so where none of us knew what the fuck was going on.
Right. Now I have all of the government tracker vaccines and boosters, so I'm fine. And I also get 5G now, so it really was just a few days of kind of being out of it.
That's shade.
It kind of felt like I had cat tongue. My tongue felt a little swollen.
Oh, yeah, you were saying it was like...
It felt like cat tongue.
Yeah, like sandpaper,
Like
right?
sandpapery. I'm like, why is my tongue like this? Am I turning...
That's so weird.
I actually thought maybe I was turning into like a cat person. I was so excited, but... Did not happen, and my tongue is back to normal now.
Perfect time for you to talk some shit.
Yes, this is the trashy podcast that is Richie and Wes. You might know us from our random internet mischief, but if you don't...
Don't go to my Twitter.
Don't start now.
Popping knee deep into some mess at all times, every damn day.
I mean, why? Nothing's really been going on the last couple weeks.
It's really not. I've actually been going back and forth more so on TikTok, which I have something in the draft.
Twitter's like falling apart before our very eyes.
I'm learning TikTok. I feel like old man learning like how to use like a cell phone. So I had this because this lady.
This is scrolling.
This lady was going fucking viral for a stupid conspiracy theory about fucking Richard Simmons.
R.I.P. by the way to Richard Simmons, who I did know personally and used to go to his.
Yes, you're part of my. You're part of my stitch I'm creating actually, because she's like, that man died in the early 2000s and blah 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 blah. And I was like, no. She's like, I know I'm not alone in this, but he was always wearing a sweatband and blah, 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 blah. And, like, they've altered things. And I just stitched in. And again, I'm still figuring out how to, I'll try to get it uploaded tomorrow. But I was like, okay, I'm all good for, like, a fun conspiracy theory. Like, a fun one. But, like, a day after someone died is, one, poor timing. Two, I was like, no, I'm like, I live in West Hollywood where Richard Simmons reigns supreme. I'm like...
Yeah, not uncommon to see him around.
I was like, one of my best friends and podcast partners actually went to his classes, and the first time he went kind of missing was when he abruptly stopped doing the classes.
Yes,
I remember. True. I remember
he did abruptly retire.
Yes, and then no one saw him for a while, but then we see him here and there, like at the grocery store or something. He'd be around the city.
Yeah.
Up until very recently. Like, last year and a half, 2 years.
He became a recluse.
He
had his...
But he's been around. We've seen him with our own two eyes. This man did not die in the 2000s. And to harp on the sweatband situation, I know vividly that is completely false because my grandmother and mother loved Richard Simmons. We had every one of those damn Sweat Into the Oldies VHSs.
Yes.
And I thought as a child, isn't it weird that he doesn't have a sweatband on with all that hair and he's sweating to capture the sweat? So these are memories that I remember fondly when I was a child. And you've seen the man.
He couldn't mess up that fro with a headband.
Very
Are you kidding me? He would never do that. Yeah, I mean, he would wear little costumes and outfits.
Yeah, but no,
he didn't
have a headband on. No. That wasn't all the imitations of him have a headband on.
Yeah.
Which is probably where that comes from. Just like the Britney Spears who said it again, people swore that she had a microphone on the video, which she never ever did. Her dolls were sold with the headset mic, but all of them were because they were Britney Spears dolls, and they were like, be in concert, Britney Spears, and blah, 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 blah. But she never had a headset mic on in that video at all. So I don't know where that... I don't know what this makes. I'm down for a Mandela effect thing, but now with the internet, and it's so easy to go back and find videos from 60 fucking years ago. It's like, are we really doing this now?
What I think people fail to recognize is that you actually don't remember things. Or your mind pieces them together and fills in for you. It's just the same way you see objects in the clouds. Like, it's a fucking cloud, but your brain is putting it into a picture that you understand. And I think that's what happens all the time with, I don't know, haven't you ever had one of those moments where you're like, no, I'm absolutely positive
Yes.
that it was this. And then you're showing the receipts and you're like, oh,
Mhm.
well, I guess I was fucking wrong about that.
Right.
So sure of yourself. Now we have the internet for that.
Exactly.
And,
And despite it being at our fingertips and attached to our hand most of our days, people still can't take the extra 2 seconds to Google something.
all that celebrity replacement stuff is so weird to me. I mean, first of all, you could never replace the energy and exuberance of Richard Simmons with anyone else. There's no way. You can't fake that.
Nope.
You cannot fake that. And everyone in WeHo probably has a Richard Simmons story. I used to go to his classes with some friends of mine, and he got mad at me one time because I didn't hug him goodbye.
Oh my God,
Like,
that's
he
adorable.
was just a very sweet,
Yeah.
affectionate person. He was always, if you were new to the class, because I would bring people. I'd be like, you gotta come work out with me tonight. And we fucking go to Richard Simmons. And he would always be giving them attention
Mhm.
and make sure that they got at least some of the Richard Simmons experience.
Yes.
You know,
I love that.
he was, but there's all kinds of weird shit. Like the whole Avril Lavigne got replaced. And
Oh God, yes. So weird.
Like, babe, she doesn't even look different.
At all. And she was always in the public
She
eye. So when did
literally
this happen?
Doesn't even look different.
Same thing with Britney. They said that she's a clone. I'm like, oh my God, that's ridiculous. Oh my God, did you see that Sinbad, the comedian, did? There's that whole conspiracy with him saying that people remember that he did a movie where he's a genie called Shazam in the 90s. And he's been like, no, that wasn't me. You're thinking about Shaq, who
That
did
was Shaq.
Kazam
Yeah.
about a genie, but I never had anything. So he actually did a spoof video like 15 years ago, and it looks like VHS quality.
I love it.
And it's like, it's either a commercial or like something from the movie, and he's playing Shazam.
Yeah.
And now people are running with that. It's like, no, look, see, we found it. It's like, this was his reply to you idiots saying that he made this non-existent movie with this non-existent character. It's not some lost footage. He did this himself. Oh, my goodness.
I love it when people lean into it. you know?
Yeah. Make fun of yourself.
I also love it when people lean into their pettiness.
Oh my God, who this week besides us?
Even after death. Shannon Doherty, R.I.P.
Oh my God,
also,
yes.
left a list of people who were not invited to
I
her
will-
funeral.
I will be doing the exact same thing. I've said this
Like,
since I was like
you're not-
10 years old.
Who's not going to be at my funeral? 'Cause you're on that list.
Yep, I did that shit when I was 10 years old. I said, in the first funny conversation, I always go back and I'm like, how is this like a sweet, innocent, nice kid? And I like end up with this mouth. And then the more I remember things and the more stories my family tells me, I've always had it. It just never really fully developed until I was older and out of the house. But I remember my mom being like, oh yeah, you have to invite all the kids in your class to your birthday party. And I was like, no, I don't want Johnny there. I don't want Rebecca there. I don't want this person in our house. I made a list of people I didn't want there. And I said, when I was that old, I said, and Mom, by the way, God forbid anything happened to me before you, I'm going to leave you a list of people I don't want at my funeral. And I listed those people too. Because, you think you're going to be friends with everyone when you're 10 years old until you die for some reason.
Why do people think that?
Always!
I had the weirdest friends growing up. Never anyone that I was like, yeah, we're definitely going to be friends forever. I was like, well, I don't know. We're in the same grade.
I
so.
still keep in contact with maybe 10 people from throughout my childhood.
Oh, I don't.
But that's about it.
My only childhood friend that I still keep in contact with was the one friend that basically taught me you can actually break the rules.
That's my
And my
life best friend.
has
32 years, Jason.
my life has never been the same.
I was a good one, and
I
he was
was too.
and he was the bad one.
Yes.
And I never he would always get in trouble, go to detention. I never really would because I would straddle the line,
Mm-hmm.
and he just didn't give a fuck. And now it's funny because we've totally flipped. I'm the
Buttoned up.
I'm the potty mouth one that likes to drink and take shots. He doesn't like drinking at all. No, he was drinking since he was 14 years old. He doesn't cuss. He lives a very quiet life. I'm like, yes, let's go out and get some shots tonight.
He got it all out of his system.
He like transferred his power over to me.
Wow. No, my friend that I still keep in touch with still has that same vibe and that same attitude, but he's like married and has a bunch of kids. He has like 4 kids. So he's not doing anything purposefully, crazy at this point. But still kind of a daredevil, still has dirt bikes and all that stuff. Like, he was very into like adrenaline rush stuff. But yeah, he basically was the one that was like, yeah, like, great, it's cool that you are smart and that you like your parents and that you whatever, but did you know you don't have to listen to them? It's like, what? Yeah, you can
My mind was blown.
You tell them you're here.
Oh, yes!
Because you always go there, and then you go somewhere else.
Jason taught me how to scam my parents out of money. So I've really big like stage fright. I don't like people watching me until I'm like there, and then I like come into a whole different character, and I'm just like, bam, here I am.
That's why the show works, because there's no cameras.
Exactly.
We just kind of be ourselves.
And I was the same way with sports. So I would not have my family come to any of my track meets, invitationals, practices, because I'd be nervous. Anyone else's parents, I didn't give a fuck. But like my own, I would freak out. I would freeze. So it was a rule that they would not come to anything that I did not want them invited to. So they'd come to like award ceremonies and stuff like that. But if I had to like perform, I'm like, nope, you guys are staying home. Now I'm thinking, I'm like, I kind of robbed them of a lot of memories, but whatever. But
what's it about them?
I started telling my mom that we were redoing uniforms, that we had added 3 more invitationals, so I need an extra $100 a piece to like go to these. I was bad, dude. Now that I'm realizing this as I'm saying this, and your jaw's dropping, I'm like, that was not a nice thing to do. I've taken care of my parents and stuff. Yeah, it's fine. But yeah, it was like Pandora's box just opened up.
Oh my god!
I mean, I don't have to be back home at 6. Oh, just say that you have practice and you have like a meeting after practice, and then let's just go to fucking Baker's to get some burgers. This is what we were doing, by the way. It's not like we were going out and getting drunk and smoking weed. No, we were breaking the rules to go to fucking Baker's, go to the park.
Yeah, I mean, then we did
dumbest shit ever.
And I remember in the beginning, I would at least, because it's very difficult for me to, if I'm fully committed to a lie and I believe it's true, then I can lie to you. But otherwise, I'm actually not a good liar. So we would have to go. I would be like, okay, well, I'm going to tell my parents I'm going to the library. Because, of course, goody little two shoes me. Oh, I love the library.
So did I!
LA has some great ones. But so we would actually have to still go physically into the library.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, go out the back door.
Yes!
Just so I could say I went to the library. That wasn't a lie.
You were there for 3 seconds, but you were there.
We would just, like, I don't know, go down the alleys behind the bar.
Literally.
Or we would go...
blast music with the fucking trunk open.
We were in his loft that we weren't supposed to go in because it was in the garage. And, we could fall off the loft or whatever. Just stupid shit like that.
Oh, my God.
But it was still like, oh, my God, like, we are bad.
I'm like, I'm not mad at Shannon. Fuck these hoes. If they didn't fuck me when I'm here, you're not going to fuck with me when I'm gone.
No.
I have a question for you, actually. We never interview each other on the show, but something happened a few days ago, and I'm kind of obsessed. What's a question that you would hate people, but that you wish people would just not ask you anymore? Not that it like super irritates you, but just like, oh my God, like I would prefer not to answer this question again.
I think the one that annoys me, and this is actually like a deep secret that I don't even tell a lot of people, even though I know you already know.
Pissing you off for
no, you are
for like 20 years now.
No, I have since I was a teenager gone by Wes or Westover. People call me that, but that's my middle name.
Yeah,
so it's my name. I just go by my middle name. Yeah. Same thing is true, actually. I didn't realize this until I started doing it. My aunt pointed out that my grandfather on my mom's side and his father also went by their middle names.
Oh.
Had no reflection on my decision to do that, but I just had a name where a couple other kids in my school had that same name.
Gotcha.
And I was like, no. So
I never had that issue.
No.
My government name, I understand why. But even with the shortened name, Don, I never had another Don. Ever in school, in any school any work. No, it's such a basic ass name too. I don't
Yeah.
know why. Yeah, by the way, my name is Don. If you're just tuning in, but
But when people find that out, they're either really want to know what my first name is. I'm like, why are you asking me? That's not how I introduce myself to you.
exactly. What does it matter?
You already know too much.
Thank you.
Now that you know that it's my middle name, you know too much. So everyone listening, don't ask. Don't fucking ask. And it used to really bother me when people found out what it was
Mhm.
and that would try to be cute and call me by that name. No. No. Why would you do that? Even if someone told me their name was Michael and they preferred to be called Michael, I wouldn't be like, hey, Mikey.
Right?
No.
Like, no.
Rude.
I didn't know this.
Yeah. That actually
Mine's the
kinda
same,
bothers
by the
me.
way. When people find out my government name, and to this day, one of my ex-bosses / friends will still say it out loud
Mm-hmm.
if I go and see him at
That's why
the
I didn't
bar.
say it out loud right now.
Right? Well, you edit the fuck out of the show.
We all know each other. We know each other's secrets on the show.
Yes, we do.
Stuff happens when we turn off the
No,
recording
it's
devices.
that, or it's oh my, and this happens so often, and I've talked about this on the show before. Do you only date white guys? If I never hear that question again in my life, I'll be totally fine. Because it's so annoying, and it's so not true. And it's so annoying. Did I say it's annoying?
Also, I think people look for the appearance of whiteness as well. Like, for example, I will say I presumed that your boyfriend was white, even
Mhm.
though he's...
He does look white. But, to be fair, but yes, I know what you're
But
talking
we
about, yeah.
presume that, so it's like someone could probably see your boyfriend now and say that.
Yeah. No, 100%. But I've dated fucking, if you count him, 4 whole white guys my whole 41 years of life. So it's just very funny.
Yeah.
But to circle back, so the reason for this question is because, and I hate to say this, I hope it's not true, but I feel like this might be Janet's last tour. Because she's doing a lot of interviews, and they've been really revealing. And Janet's usually pretty surface level on things for the
Yeah.
most part, unless it's like a Barbara Walters sit-down type situation. But she has been on live, like on Instagram with her dancers. She's been getting drunk, playing card games. I've been the biggest Janet stan since I was a child. I've never once seen her not be pristine and perfect, and
Right.
but it was just so cute seeing her drunk. But this latest interview, I need to watch the whole thing because she's been over in London touring and doing a lot of their press, and UK press is so much better than American press. Their journalists actually do research. They're not fucking up anyone's names like we do consistently here.
Yeah.
They're not fucking up what projects anyone's on, which we do consistently here as well.
Yeah.
It's like a little bit of research, and you have assistants and stuff half the time when you're at that level. Like they can piece together some bullet points about
literally
the
get
person.
a packet.
Like
When
it's
you
not
go into
that
those
difficult.
situations and it has someone's picture and their name in
Yes.
the description. Like, hello.
But why we can't get together and they can't, I don't know. Because one, she was on BBC doing this interview, and you could tell that this journalist was a fan because he was asking her about her growing up or whatever, and she was like, "Oh, like I didn't want to be a singer, you know." And we had a studio like in our home. You know, my brothers were getting big or whatever, so. If we were bored or we can sleep at night, my dad would just have us like go in the studio and just like write some things down or record some things or whatever just to get out of our system. That was like our outlet. She's like, and I wrote my first song when I was 9 years old, and he interrupts her and says, "Oh yeah, fantasy." And this last few weeks have been great for a Janet Jackson fan because I've never seen her tipsy because that was fun in that one little video.
Yeah.
I've never seen her thrown off in an interview before. She was like taken aback. She's like, "Oh my, wait, huh? How do you know that?"
That is a rarely known fact.
Yes.
Yes.
He did his homework, and like she just looked so like enamored with him when she leaned in and was like, "What? Huh? You know that?" And he's like, "Do you remember anything of?" She's like, "Oh my God, no! I was 9 years old." And then she remembered some of it and started singing a little bit of it. Super cute. Then in this other interview she did, the host asked her what I ask you. If there's one question that you would never want to be asked again, what would it be?
Oh.
And she said, in her cute little Janet voice, so polite. She's like, I don't want to be rude, but honestly, just stop asking me questions. she's like, I'm not really a person that likes to talk about myself a lot or talk in general. I'm really quiet. So if I don't have to, I don't really talk. I like to just observe and listen at people and their stories. She's like, so I don't really like getting asked a question. And he's like, well,
It's like, actually, just stop talking, please.
He was like, well, hopefully we'll glad. Well, he's like, well, good for you. This interview is coming to a close shortly. She's like, yeah, are we done? She's like, just joking around. She's like, are we finished yet?
Oh my
Super
God.
fucking cute. But yeah, I thought that was
I
because
love that for her.
no one ever really asks celebrities that. Really, it's always about pride. It's never like, what do you never want to be asked about again? She's like, everything. Don't ask me a damn thing, and I will be totally happy.
I also think the best interview styles are the ones where it's more like a conversation.
Yes, and they knock that out of the ballpark over there.
Yeah.
Like, probably why you can get away with so much over there, because they'll just like be walking around with someone just like
Yeah.
shopping or sitting down in a diner with them or just on the tour bus, like chilling out for like hours. It's never like a 5-minute interview unless it's like on like an actual like talk show. But like most of the interviews over there are pretty lengthy for celebrities and actually in depth and not nosy, like curious about who they are as a person.
Yeah.
And knowing things like they wrote a song when they were age 9 and the name was Fantasy.
Guess so. Dang. Well, to pivot to our next topic, I love how I always look at the computer like it's a camera. when
You
I'm
always
ready
do.
to-
I know.
I'm ready to like make a.
Like we're like actually in front of an audience. So guys, some
trying to
people with our
engage you.
phones.
As a pivot to our next topic, we rarely talk about politics.
No.
On the show.
Used to be a role until COVID hit, and then all rules, like the rest of the world, went out the door.
And while there has been a lot going on in the political world, the standout to me has been, well, besides the audacity in general, the audacity of a fucking sticker company
Oh yeah.
to use an assassination attempt to mine their customer base to buy merchandise in support of their particular political candidate, which, by the way, I don't even care who the fuck you're endorsing. That's weird.
That's extremely weird.
That is fucked up and weird. And then when people clearly have responded to the God, they've lost hundreds of thousands of followers.
Oh yes.
The owner has gone batshit and apparently has taken over all their social media.
Yes.
And is like trolling people online.
It's crazy.
What's wild to me about this story is how illustrious the sticker business is
You never.
in the United States.
There's one thing I've learned.
had no
If
idea.
there is one thing I've learned from becoming obsessed with TikTok Live, because it's like a
There's-
Russian roulette of what you're gonna see.
There's so many
There
sticker
are
companies.
so many everything and
Yes.
so many niches.
And they're like, here's our factory. I'm like, bitch, factory? What?
There is a girl with like 2 million TikTok subscribers. All she does is she orders these like silicone like lips and like head molds or whatever on Amazon.
Yeah.
She injects them with cocoa butter because when you do that, it forms like a pimple, and she will just pop them. And yes, for people who like pimple popping videos, she also sells these like different shapes of silicone that have things like either pimples or they'll have like hairs that she'll like sew in so you can pick them out for people who have like skin picking issues or eye picking issues.
What?
But yes, it's crazy, but also extremely fascinating because I'll find myself sitting there like watching this woman with the camera facing her hand plucking out imaginary hairs out of a fake set of lips.
Soon she'll have her own factory manufacturing those things.
It's
I swear to God.
crazy.
It's wild to me to see how something can grow like that. Like, I have a friend, actually my friend Victor does Hunties.
Mhm.
Hunties, get it? It's t-shirts you can print your own stuff on, but they also have licensing
Mhm.
for like everything from Golden Girls.
Yeah,
everyone like
really
Golden
cute
Girls
artwork,
stuff.
too.
Really cute artwork, yeah. bunch of different stuff. But he had started doing that from printing out the jerseys for the dodgeball teams.
Oh.
Because he played dodgeball in WeHo, which is a really big thing in WeHo.
It is.
And no, they're really serious, you guys. Like, you don't understand. I just looked at the computer again.
It's
That's
nuts.
how serious it is. And
You guys really are. The laptop is really our audience.
it's the only thing I can look at that seems like I'm looking at, I don't know, a camera screen or something. I'm blocking in. No, so he would make the shirts for his team, and then people were like, oh my God, we love those shirts. Can you make them for our team? And so he started making and doing all this stuff, and then started doing other designs, and then was letting people do their own designs. And at a certain point, it started taking over his living room because
Yeah.
he had to get this huge
Oh, yeah.
printer, which they've had this massive printer for this
Mhm.
stuff. And now he literally has like a factory space, just kind of one of these places around WeHo.
Yeah.
Which something I find so interesting too about a lot of this stuff is right around that corner. There could actually be in what you think is just a normal office space or like
Mhm.
whatever. It's actually some industrial
Yes, it's
setup.
crazy.
They've got this shit going on. You're like, what? So anyway, so that's what he does now, and he like,
It's so weird.
yeah, I mean, good for them. Like,
Yes.
but yes, so there are, I forgot to write it down, but definitely, if you're going to get some stickers made, you apparently have the choice of whoever aligns with your particular. I found one that was lesbian run LGBTQ sticker
Mhm.
factory. It was like just stickers or something like that. And I was like, oh, great, we align. If I ever need
Mhm.
stickers, this is where I'm going. So now we know we have choices.
Right. Oh my
More
God.
choices and stickers
did you
than
read
we
the
do political
email
parties.
that they sent everyone?
I did, and it was unhinged.
I saw it in real time. I have no subscription to a sticker thing, but one of my followers does. She does children books. She's a children book illustrator and author,
Mm-hmm.
and she's just really fun and cool. And like, shows her artwork and stuff, on Twitter. So she's fun to follow. And she belonged to them, and I just woke up and she put it like, I think she's one of the first people that like it
Oh,
was
that
really
posted it? Yeah.
posted it. She's a decent following. It's like 30,000, something like that. And she's like, this is the most unhinged email I've ever received from a company in my entire life. She posted it. And I was like, hmm? And you hear the latest drama with that company and its employees?
There's more.
Oh, yes, there is more. An employee came out, and then a few others, stating that we don't, like, this company isn't what I represent. I don't know what the fuck that email was. Also, now that we're having this conversation, let you know that he's a piece of shit. And we got pretty much the same thing, but verbalized, stating that if we still want to be affiliated with the company, then we should not be adverse to the owner's beliefs, politically or otherwise. And that we've been given the option to leave, but some of us aren't in the position to leave because the job market sucks right now. So some of us are just staying right now. They're anonymous, but they're like, yeah, so this is what's really going on behind the scenes. So he's pushing us out if we're not Trump supporters. And
Oh, they should all show up wearing brat t-shirts.
Right.
How bizarre.
Weird.
What a weird little meltdown. This is one of those situations where all you had to do was nothing. This was a popular
Literally.
company. A lot of different people used them. I know I got a couple different messages about it because a lot of the artists and Comic-Con convention
Oh, I didn't think about that.
use
But
them
yeah.
for their stickers because a lot of times that's what, it's a
Mhm.
fun little giveaway at conventions, stuff like that. So, yeah, that was kind of making the rounds. I'm surprised you didn't get it in one of your 2 cosplay group chats
I know. I know.
that this was happening because, obviously,
To be fair, I can't keep track of any of those.
I
So it's like
know.
75 members each, and they're always posting the most random shit. Love you guys if you're listening. But it's like someone's at a bar and they found like a picture of like something on a wall, and then 80,000 people were. I'm like, I can't keep track of this stuff. Can we just have like an important update, like
Yeah.
group chat, like con related?
y'all need your own Slack.
I
at
don't
this
need to
point.
know if Barbara I've never met in my entire life is somewhere in Malibu right now on the beach in cosplay. That's great. Post it on your Instagram. It does not need to go to the group chat. It just does not.
Or just send one pic. I wish you could turn
And then you
off
can't find
replies.
what's actually important.
Oh, I know.
Because they did like some post about, oh, like let's do a meetup or whatever. It was like a minute of scrolling and I couldn't. I was like, I give up. And there's no search function on Instagram.
I'm
like,
not going.
I'm not going. I don't know what it was. It sounded like it could have been delightful, but I'm not going to be there because I can't scroll through all this other BS to get to the actual point of the group chat. Just a mess.
Speaking of being a mess.
Oh God, who now?
You heard it? Did you hear it?
What?
The recording of Billy Ray
Yes.
Cyrus
And his girlfriend.
and his girlfriend. Which this whole family is like all been split up and kids.
They're a mess.
Kids have picked
Yeah, you're right. Talk
sides.
about a mess.
I
That was
feel-
a
I actually
perfect
feel
segue.
bad talking about it because it's a very fucked up situation, and like I have some family members that are estranged from the family, and having gone through like losing my grandmother recently.
Mhm.
There's just a whole. I actually feel bad talking about it, but at the same time, at this point in your career, Billy Ray, you have been around a long time. Can you at least make sure there are no recording devices going on before you say horrible things about your own daughter?
That part.
I mean, I checked our Airbnbs for cameras with a flashlight. Like, if I'm taking the precautions, how are these people? I mean, I'm so glad.
Yes.
I'm so glad they're getting.
Yep. Air your own self out.
But what?
What I don't
Your
like
recording
is
device was on, and you said all
Right.
that.
I think she was recording. She had to have been on her phone. I see this as someone that's done the exact same thing myself. Still got it on my phone. Or that homophobic asshole of a now ex-boyfriend that my former cunt of roommate was dating.
Oh
Oh, yeah.
yes.
So I'll save my phone still. Yep. 2
Yeah.
minutes of him calling me all kinds of slurs and whatnot. So
Well, that's a situation where you're gonna use that for any kind of evidence.
so was
or
she.
what
She's
have
probably
you.
trying to get some money. It didn't leak itself. I don't
True.
like how everyone's saying that he was talking about Miley though. I'm like, it's clearly he was talking about Trish. Like they're like he calls Miley the devil.
He said she was a devil and a skank.
Yes, but I'm like, but he was talking about her having 2 kids before, like outside of the marriage or something like that, and then said
He
we
has
all know
kids outside the marriage.
Yes, and saying like she's a devil and a skink. I'm like, clearly that wasn't about Miley. That was about his ex-wife.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. Actually,
Yeah, I was all, why is I mean, I get why they put Miley in there for fucking clickbait, but I'm like,
Mhm.
you know, you could be sued. Like, he can come after you for that because you're claiming that he said these things about her. Clearly, it wasn't. But still, what a fucking psycho.
I actually thought for a period in time. God, I hate myself so much. I actually thought for a period in time, especially because I heard the story about how basically when Miley was cast for Hannah Montana, he was somehow really in with the Disney execs and really wanted to be the one to play her dad
That's right. Mhm.
because he wanted her to be in a safe environment
Mhm.
on set as a young
Smart
a
move.
young girl, and I totally fell for that hook, line, and sinker, not thinking all about him being a complete control freak.
That's how Wendy Williams felt when she found out about Britney Spears' dad. Remember that? And she said death to all of them. She's like, Mr. Spears, you've had me fooled. I thought you were trying to keep your daughter safe. Meanwhile, you were the person that's fucking her up. Death to all of you in the family.
Because there's another story that I remember where he bought the house next to hers,
Yes.
and then was like, there was some interview where she did where I, again, being fooled because Miley was telling the story and was like, oh my god, dad, so they're so crazy.
Yeah.
Where he found like a place in the bushes where he could sneak from her yard to his yard or whatever.
That's
And I was
just
like,
so
oh my god,
weird.
that's so cringe. And now I'm like, what a creep
Yes.
happened to him.
Just being exposed is what happened to him. Probably seems like it's how it's always been. Not that Trish is any fucking
I
mean, that whole family's just a mess.
That
mom and that dad are hot ass messes. I feel for those children. Ooh,
every family has their stuff. So that is, like I said, where I feel a little weird talking about it. But it is also one of those things where I think people do dive in because we do all we can relate.
Yes.
We can kind of relate. We can relate to the rifts in the family. That family portrait is not so perfect for anyone. And I think it is just, like I said, kind of hits close to home for various reasons. So when it's someone else, it's juicy.
It's true. It is very, very true.
You know who's not juicy?
Oh, God, who?
Although this was another one that had me fooled. I was team Chris Brown when he first came out.
God.
Oh, my God. He was so hot. I loved his voice. He could dance. I was like, this is
until it wasn't all gold and glittery.
Serial offender.
Yes! How is fans...
Serial abuser.
I think it's funny how...
Chronic...
Yes! And fans are like, Rihanna's forgiven him. Like, it's not just that situation. He said numerous things.
Also, that's nice for Rihanna, but
yes! Thank you!
I have to like his ass.
No!
No, her process is different than ours.
Yes, and my process is to hate because you were a horrible person, and it was an isolated incident. He beat up Karrueche Tran as well.
He flipped out on the Today Show.
Yes,
threw a chair through a window. He fucked with his neighbor for years.
Yes,
and years.
He's not a good person. Stop acting like he is.
Well. Now he's being sued for $50 million.
How did I miss this?
Apparently, he orchestrated the assault of 4 men at one of his shows.
I didn't mean a kingpin. What?
Thank you. First of all, so when it's a man, you can't do it yourself. First of all, where's Mr. Tough Guy, Chris Brown now?
Right.
Apparently, yeah, there was, I don't know, guys that he didn't like and got his crew to beat him up.
That's such a pussy move.
$50 million.
That's so...
I hope they get everything. I hope the judge is like, that's not enough.
I don't get these pick and choose people. I'm just like, like whoever you like, just at least don't be delusional enough to act like they're fucking perfect after the evidence is already there.
Oh, that's the thing. And that's what drives me bonkers about this guy is that you know me, tick, 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 love to drive down into the comments and see how fucking crazy people are.
Yes.
Beat me next, Chris. Oh, he could beat me. Oh, with a dick like that, I could take a beating every once in a while. These are actual quotes that have been burned into my mind.
Oh my God.
I am quoting actual tweets that people have either responded to or even just put out on their own. Where maybe they think they're making a joke. They're not making a joke.
No.
They're not making a joke. They will go out on a date with Chris Brown tomorrow.
Just those fucking barbs, Nicki Minaj fans. And y'all can come. I've been dealing with y'all for years now. You're light work. Had a fucking death threat already this year about them. That's a real thing that happened. Tune into, I don't know what episode it was.
This is where if we had a producer, they would clip it in.
Right, but no, but it's just
sorry.
Two boys and some wine here. You get what you get, guys. Sorry. No, they always love to talk about, or be like, oh, well, her husband did this when he was a teenager and the girl wasn't. It was a technicality. I'm the only one that I've seen that's like, okay, but what about her fucking brother? Because she supports her brother. Her brother's currently still in prison for molesting like a 12-year-old or something. That's the easy bait to go to. Fuck her husband. Go to her fucking brother. Why are you still supporting your brother?
Yeah.
Let's say the husband isn't a creep. But you're now associated...
He is, though.
Yes, he is. But now you're associated with two... sex offenders. That's weird. That's weird.
Mm. Yeah, I know I've told this story before, but there used to be a really popular promoter in West Hollywood, and he would have like private parties and stuff too. So it was this very like, I don't know, whatever. And he got arrested for possessing child pornography.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a very brief, mind you, a little groundswell of people who were trying to collect money for his bail. I said, do not talk to me again about this. He can stay in jail. Well, everyone's, innocent until proven guilty, and,
Not in the court of fucking the internet. Sorry.
This wasn't even the internet. This was literally people that I knew and was being told these things. And I'm like, tell you what, I'm going to risk a rift in my friendship and connection to this person. Because if they're innocent, hopefully we can make amends for that. But they rarely haul people off for that kind of shit, unless they have the fucking evidence, first of all. Second of all, if he is guilty, I'm not going to spend any of my time defending him.
No!
Or helping him.
And why should you?
That's rock bottom.
No. That's... Ew.
Speaking of rock bottom...
Oh, Lord, what now?
Katy Perry!
And you said we had no topic this week, earlier, like yesterday. Now, we didn't really have much to talk about. Here we are.
No, because I didn't want to talk about any of the political shit that was going on.
Very true.
Katy Perry, wow, girl.
Child.
Talk about rock bottom. Babes. I mean, that is what you get for talking shit about Britney Spears repeatedly, but wow. Very unimpressive. It hit the top 100, I'll give her that. But then it fell off.
Because you're Katy Perry, that is weird.
That's weak. That's real weak. And then it fell off.
Yes!
Fell off.
Well, the song sucks, so there we go.
It does.
It sounds like a Temu version of fucking Stupid Love by Gaga.
It's just a weird message and kind of... Excuse me. If you're going to be putting out a female empowerment song in 2024, can you address actual issues that are happening
And not work with an abuser?
Well, that too. But also, like, just the most mundane, live, laugh, love bullshit that you can possibly imagine.
It's like ChatGPT, like, created a fucking song.
She could have a banger. You know, the real woman's world is Cher.
Oh yeah, 100%.
That just
Newspaper Wig it all.
Just stream that song.
Yeah.
If you want to hear Woman's World, just stream Cher's version. There's a couple of remixes that are real bangers too. So yeah, wow. And apparently, she and her team are freaking.
As they should. She leaked some snippet of something. Now she sounds decent. I'm like, why would this not be the first thing? Well, you could have avoided all
that
this.
one's with him too, though.
But probably. At least it's a decent song. You're going to be putting out anything at all. That Woman's World track just isn't fucking it.
No. I feel like, especially seeing the visuals and everything she put out for it, I do feel that a lot went into her wearing the smallest bikini top that she could find, rather than the substance of the music itself.
Yes.
So one thing that, like, I know everyone's like, oh yeah, when you go Lady Gaga, right? When you dress weird to get attention. Yes, Gaga always had the visuals, and yes, that is what kind of helped blow her up. The big wigs and the sunglasses. And we didn't see Gaga's full face for like 2 years, you guys.
Right.
And yes, that was part of it. But when you just got into your car and streamed that fucking album or whatever, bangers. Back to back. Fucking bangers. Boys, boys, boys. So many songs on that album that it doesn't need a visual. It's good. It was pop. Just
there you go.
Delightful. So that's always been, yes, the imagery is important. Of course, you're selling us something when you look at Chappell Roan and people like that. It does, but like, if you look at Chappell Roan, who now she just has the money to do it.
Yeah.
She didn't have the money before,
No.
but the songs were still good before.
Yes.
Pink Pony Club,
Yes.
that was from 4 years ago. That song's amazing. She just didn't have the money and the style team at that point to be
Yeah.
the Statue of Liberty or whatever. So I do feel like they paid a little too much attention to her because she looks fucking phenomenal.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god, I've
The
never seen her look
aesthetic
better.
of this era is gorgeous.
She's never looked better. My god, she looks amazing.
If only the art would follow. I
There's
mean,
that.
but in other news in the popular world, I have an apology to make publicly. I apologize to Kesha for initially not liking her new song Joyride.
Ah!
For the last 3 days, I've become hooked
Yes.
and I'm on board. So I apologize, Kesha. It was a grower for me, which is okay.
Sometimes that
fans.
happens. That happens. You hear a
It's
song,
all
you're
right.
like, "Mm."
It's okay. I do it with my own fave Britney sometimes too. It's okay not to like everything instantaneously.
It
It's
does
all
kind of
right.
grow on you. I actually, the first time I heard it was at Pride when she was at WeHo. Because that was her
okay.
first performance
Oh, that's
as
right.
a free artist with her own label. And that's where I don't know that she premiered the song at Pride, but I think that's her first time performing it. And, you don't know the song.
No.
And I was like, okay, cute way to open the show. Cool. Let's get to some glitter on the floor.
Right.
Like,
No, the time to blow
I had to listen to it a couple times too, but it definitely, it's catchy.
It
It'll
is.
get you. Now I fucking love it.
Definitely an earworm. Yes, I was like,
Yes.
what the fuck is this? Especially because it was Katie, her, and fucking JoJo Siwa, and I was like, how do I like this JoJo Siwa song over these other two girls? This doesn't make any
I
sense.
do kind of like that JoJo.
I
Siwa
do. I
song.
listened to the EP. It's actually not bad.
You know another song that didn't quite hit me the first time I heard it, and then now I can't believe because it's so good? Slave for You.
Oh my God! Can I tell you this? This happens on the show if you're just tuning in. We randomly segue into each other's thoughts quite frequently. None of this is planned. We don't share notes anymore. This is all off the riff. Same! And I'm the biggest Britney stan ever. So
I love the wind up for that.
right. No, but speaking of like performances, so she debuted that on the VMAs. That was
I
on the
remember.
radio.
Yes.
And I it's
remember.
hard to
And
debut a song and instantly be like,
And it's
fuck.
an iconic performance.
And I was like, oh yes, this
Yeah.
is gonna be great once I hear like the actual which is the same, but it didn't hit the same with me.
Mhm.
And now I realize after getting older that it was just really experimental, especially for really
For
big
her.
pop.
Yeah, for her it was different.
Like it was not a normal song structure.
Mhm.
It wasn't verse, pre-chorus, chorus, verse, pre-chorus, chorus, bridge, chorus, fade out. Like every other song pretty much in history is made. It was very much like you get thrown into the song,
Yeah.
you get thrown into the chorus, and then there's a bridge out of nowhere, and then there's a dance break, and it's like it was very much an unstructured song and very experimental for someone who is an A-list pop star at the height of fame at the
No,
time.
it was
Like
different.
you didn't step out of your box with those things. You stuck to the formula,
Yeah.
and I was like, and then after a few more listens, I'm like, okay, I'm getting this. Once I was like, okay, not every song needs to be the exact same formula, even though that formula does work very well.
No, now it's fucking classic.
Yes!
It's iconic. Like
It
just that
is!
the little beat and the little
And it
record
all
scratch,
just
that little
yes, and
oh
it
my
just
God.
really all holds up.
Oh yeah. But I distinctly, this is how fucking gay I am. I distinctly remember watching that with some friends of mine, like a group of friends of mine, because we would always get together and watch the award shows, which I kind of miss doing that actually.
Yeah.
But now I just stream them at home or just go online and watch the best parts. But anyways, I have no friends. So, except for Richie Rich.
That's it.
So I remember being at this like viewing party or whatever, and everyone was, of course, so excited for the song. And the performance was over the top and amazing and what
Yes,
have you.
I also think that that's part of the thing too, is because you're used to hearing something first and looking
Yes.
forward to a performance
And then
or a
kinda
video
seeing a visual.
instead of the
Yeah, so there was just a lot
another
going
weird
on.
backwards thing that she did. No one
There was just a
no
lot
one debuted
going
a debut
on.
single.
A lot going on. And there was, right at the very end, she kind of gave this look back.
Yes.
And one of my friends was like, right now she's thinking, oh my God, what have I done? We all just lost our shit.
And that's
because
funny
it
because
kind of hit.
and it's also true.
Some people really loved it right away. I will say in the
Yeah.
group, some people immediately were like, "Oh my god, that was amazing!"
Mhm.
But there were about half of us that were like,
what
"What the
was
fuck was that?"
Yes, but that also, I mean, she's come out and said kind of what I said earlier in the show. Like, you get on that stage and you're this character, and it ends, and it's like, oh shit, like you kind of get embarrassed sometimes, or all it's kind of the adrenaline wears off, and it's like,
Well, that's also a tough
Shit.
room to perform a song like that for
Yes.
because it's all fucking industry
and
people.
not,
It's
yes,
not
and not
fans
something
who are gonna
anything
lose their
anyone's
shit.
ever even heard either.
Right.
Like you're debuting the lead single off your brand new album after this much success with your previous two. That's fucking crazy.
The excitement of it all.
Yes.
Where are those days?
But I will say in positive Pop Girl news that it's current, the Little Mix girls just don't stop hitting.
I have always loved them.
They are just so talented. They can sing their asses off. They can dance. They can write. They can do everything. And now they're all going solo.
Mm-hmm.
And Perry released her. She's the blonde. She released her first single a couple of months ago. And then she did this interview a couple of weeks ago. And she was like, "Yeah, so because two out of the three girls got pregnant at the same time."
Mm-hmm.
And then they decided to take some time off. Now they're all three getting back to their own solo thing. I'm guessing they're probably going to reunite. They have to.
Yeah.
Because they didn't leave because sales were slowing down or a late.
Well, there was one that had wanted out.
Yeah, Jessie left in the last
yeah,
project. Yeah. And they had to redo the album because they had to take her vocals off and redistribute parts. Which, like, if you're gonna do that after the work,
Girl.
do it before all the work is put in. Like, huh? Weird, but. The other three girls are really, really tight
for that. Okay.
And so her and Jade, the only one that doesn't have a baby now, she's come out with, she just came out with her new single, and Perry was saying that they talk all the time still, the three girls, and that she didn't want any competition with her sisters and bandmates, so she found out that Jade's label and her label were going to be releasing their singles, her second single and her first single on the same day.
Oh.
And so she called her and she's like, like, what do you feel about this? Because I want to move it so it doesn't, we're not competing against each other or whatever. And they ended up doing it because so all the Little Mix fans can just be happy on the same day. And I thought that was so cute.
That is cute. Yeah.
Like, I don't want to outshine my sister. Like, give her own thing.
I like
and she was
that,
like, no, like, let's both release them on the same day. It's fine.
Leans into the idea that you can listen to both.
Yes!
You don't have to pick
Shocker.
one. Yeah, you can listen to both. You can support both artists.
Yeah, it's almost like you have
Multiple artists.
get all three together. You have like 6 Little Mix songs, really, with all their solo material now. But I thought that was just really cute. You don't really hear about things like that anymore.
No, you normally hear about people being mean, which is
Backstabbing.
my last topic
Oh,
that I
God.
have. Because we all...
That was a very ominous tone, and I'm worried about what the story's going to be now.
This is an old story. I just wanted to bump on Ellen quitting
Oh, God.
after her cash out with Netflix, by the way.
Uh-huh.
Because people are, she's like, this is it. This is goodbye, blah, blah, blah. Because people have called her out on being fucking mean. And I know we had defended Ellen on this show, and I still defend her to a degree,
Mm-hmm. Two things can be true at once.
in that no one is really vilifying Johnny Carson, and he was a known asshole. to people who worked for him. fired
Didn't he and
people
Joan
all the
Rivers get into
time.
it?
He wouldn't allow her to be on the fucking network. after
That's
she started
right.
Her own show. She wasn't
That's
allowed to
what it
be-
was. I knew there was something with him being a
Yes.
dick towards her.
He basically blacklisted her from his show. And she used to fill in for him all the time. And because she filled in for him as it should naturally happen, someone was like, why doesn't Joan Rivers have her own fucking show? So she got a show and he got pissed. And he was notorious for firing people. His writers, 6 months a year, fire. Just got rid of people all the time. So I still defend her to a certain degree, except for the fact that once again, either all you had to do was nothing, shut up, you're not on TV anymore,
Mhm.
enjoy your life with Portia and your 15,000 properties that you have across the United States. Either do that, Or if you're going to come back into the public eye, I don't know, maybe instead of telling people how nice you are and trying to get testimonials said about you, about how nice you are, I don't know, maybe actually do something that get some therapy, make some amends, talk about it in your comedy. I don't know. It just seems like she's unable to process the idea that she could have been in the wrong.
Oh, Lord.
Act. I don't care.
Yes.
My God. This isn't winning people over.
Oh,
What is the strategy here?
Oh, when I reposted it, half people were like, "Oh, I thought she did that like 4 years ago."
No, she had to have
That was her show.
one final cash out with Netflix.
Of course, because why not?
Yeah. I don't know.
Look at all my fucking nerves. Well, I have a doozy of a final one,
Ooh.
and it's political, but only because it's extremely messy and it's right on brand for us. Did you see this drama with this Joey Manorino guy?
No.
So he's this huge right-wing account, right? Like 500,000 followers on Twitter, all that stuff. And
Wait, is this the guy who tweeted he was a black woman?
yes,
I did see.
it's another black woman right-winger account under the name of Laverne Spicer. And this dummy outed himself for running both accounts, posing as a black woman, or even if this woman does exist.
She does exist.
Then-
she got into the story to say he had borrowed her computer,
Which,
and she tweeted thinking she was in her Twitter account, but he had borrowed the computer, so it was really his Twitter account. I'm like, bitch, how stupid are you, and how stupid do you think we are?
yes. And I guess it's not the first time I went through a rabbit hole.
He's a very strong black
So
woman.
I don't know if she's running both accounts, if they're both in each. I don't know what it is, but this is not
They
the
are
first,
both real people.
It is
I
not
will
the first
say,
slip
like,
up that it's happened
yeah.
between the two of them.
Oh,
so it's really
my
fucking
God.
weird. And then they said we're going to be addressing this in like in a spaces to address this miscommunication. And everyone's like, has anyone seen both you guys in the same room before? Are you going to be talking to yourself? Is there an AI voice bot that's going to be working here?
No.
I don't understand it.
Who are you giving access to your social media to?
Right?
That's weird. First of all. Second of all,
Like we have we have each other's like podcast like passwords because we're both on those
Sure.
accounts. But like y'all don't have business with each
but
other.
not only that, I mean,
You're tweeting opinions.
it does explain a lot. But not only that, but even if you don't go to this a deeper rabbit hole, like her tweets don't sound like that.
It's very weird. The whole thing is just fucking odd. Could you imagine if I took over your Twitter? God, you'd be banned in a week.
Oh God.
You'd have so many hate tweets coming out of nowhere. Especially since it's me.
I already had that happen.
How is
with
your
all-
white ass even talking on this issue? Sorry, I was in Wes's account, not mine.
Right? No, I already had that happen with all the Olivia Rodrigo stands that wanted me dead.
I forgot about that.
I was joking.
We go through it on this show with these stand bases, I'm telling you.
Wow. Yeah.
At least you didn't have anyone threatening to break your knees and leave you in a wheelchair and have you die in your own pile of shit.
Oh, that had to be a barb.
Yep.
Yeah.
Got their account removed too with the quickness. Don't try me. Don't try me on Twitter. I will have you removed.
He does have a blue check mark, so.
I do, and I have friends in the legal social media sphere that can escalate some things if things get too hairy.
What a fun show.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Thanks for listening. Be sure to check out our sponsors and our show notes and save some money by using our coupon codes. Until next time,
Goodbye.
bye.